they have actually unlocked the doors as well on Hollywood now, so spectators can actually fly out of the attacker spawn for the first time. Useful. I don't know when that changed, but it wasn't always the case. You actually used to be locked inside Hollywood A.
Super sad.
With the attacking team, but now everything is bueno. We're on Hollywood for game number 1 between FaZe and Redskin.
If
I think
you
FaZe
locked
is,
me
of course, heavy favorite.
In a room with nothing but movies and peanut butter nachos as company, I think I'd be okay for a couple hours, you know? I'd be alright. Wouldn't complain too loudly.
Yeah, at least there's candy in there.
Yeah, man, and peanut butter... Okay, peanut butter nachos, Joshy, hit or miss?
I've never tried it, so I would try it to find out.
Oh, about to start, and it looks like these guys are going to be trying on a little bit of FaZe as we move into the first point here. It looks like they're going to be trying a little bit of sneaky shenanigans coming in from the rear. Super Plow getting the first kill there, and Hard is going to be picking up a kill of his own. ASOC's doing his best to try and get some damage in his Reaper. He won't get final kills on the board. Oh, pardon me, he will on Zoms, and that certainly worked as surprise factor. A little bit risky, but it did pay off there against FaZe.
Yeah, good defense to get started here for Redskin is pretty interesting. Super Pluck staying alive there, as the fact that he kind of led the charge is actually a good sign here against FaZe, which actually has been on the up and up in the last couple of weeks. They've done a lot of great things, and they actually took out Rogue in the online qualifiers for the Overwatch Open, and that was perhaps a crowning feat for them, as Rogue did win the Atlantic event just the week before that. So FaZe definitely building their resume still. They would love to have a weekly win here.
Fact Fiction there getting pinned to the wall. Super Plug on 15 hit points, but he does get taken out eventually. This is actually forcing race car mode from Zenyatta to pop out here from FaZe, but they are going to get wiped once again. So far, a resolute defense coming in from Redskin.
Yeah, kind of interesting actually that FaZe is getting shut down like this. Normally they are just such a powerhouse with 2Easy and Shadowburn doing tons of damage. Zoms is one of the best Zaryas out there right now, so a bit surprising to see them falter this early against a team that you and I have never even cast. So props to Redskin for an excellent start. ASOC's going down there to 2Easy is a good beginning here. 2Easy also going to pop his ult and try to find some skulls. Actually does get the kill on Lucio, so that's going to be enough to follow up, and they should be able to secure A with those key kills.
Oh, beautiful. 2Easy basically with 4 out of 6 of those kills as he moves on in, proving to us that the golden gun is definitely safe in his hands there, and that will allow FaZe to get through to the middle phases. Note, by the way, that the defending team here is still able to spawn out in the middle because the point hadn't quite been capped yet, so they will be able to at least defend this middle point without having to run all the way back.
Yeah, they died so fast that it ended up being a good thing for them in the end, as they all get to play together now in the second phase, but still a lot of time on the clock. They did hold for about 1:45, so solid start, but the streets phase can be another animal altogether, and I can see that they're staying in the street itself. 2Easy actually manages to dodge the Earth Shatter, cannot quite get the kill on Winston before he leaps away, so defense will hang on to the cart after taking out Fact Fiction.
A little bit surprised, actually, that nobody is up top, especially Hardest, who's been able to do a lot of hit scan damage on McCree, but he's working out for him so far. It looks like Deadeye coming out to start things off. He does pull the trigger and doesn't get any kills for it, though. So that's just a little bit of a whiff there from him, but never mind. We're going to be seeing the opposing guy popping this out as well. And again, both McCree's there failing to find a bit of purchase with him.
Deadeye is tough because it basically globally announces it, and then everyone's got time to run away or put up a barrier. So with Reinhardt on the team, it does make Deadeye a lot less efficient. Death Blossom actually coming in from the defensive Reaper gets shut down hard by Shadowburn and Fact Fiction, just swatting him away off the cart. 2Easy doing a great job surviving throughout this fight and basically just staying alive long enough to dish in some damage. Good ult there from Zoms to set up this cart. Being free and clear now to move a long way past the saloon. Defense will have another opportunity to defend Super Pluck's Earth Shatter, looking to be very valuable here.
Here we go, Heiko coming in to engage from Winston in the backline, manages to get Forsaken very early on, and that's a big pickup. Looking for Rokus as well. Winston is definitely on support duty, and now we have Shadowburn absolutely slicing and dicing, managing to find Y-Thing. Can he actually get another kill? Not quite, but picks up Harvest on the way back.
Shadowburn got a ton of kills throughout that little battle and started out with a sword and finished up with some nice dash resets. Everything going well for to Easy and Company now after having a little bit of a rocky start on A. Point B did not take them too much effort, and now moving into the final point, they've got no ults available. Defense does have still that Earth Shatter looking to be quite useful if they can get the timing for it.
They need to. Well, that's why, and Superplock is just being very patient, moving around the side of the stairs, basically saying, yeah, go on, guys, come up here and make my day. Doesn't look like they're going to be falling for it anytime soon, though, so they will be moving around the corner as a group. The High Noon coming in hard is trying to get a little bit of damage done, maybe trying to fix that early pick, but won't be able to succeed. Of course, very difficult now when you have to absolutely commit to that High Noon as well, but the teams here obviously still believing that it is absolutely worth playing that point and play, making sure you can get that headshot with the hit scan, and that is a huge Earth Shatter coming out of Superplock.
And Shadowburn actually managed to survive it, even though the Earth Shatter did hit a few people. It looks like it's ultimately going to do nothing for the defensive team, as now it's going to be Fact Fiction and Zombs getting a couple of kills. Earth Shatter is available for Fact Fiction. Easy kill onto Zen is going to reset him back into the respawn room, and now they're able to just watch the spawn doors, and the cart is sliding in with about 2.5 minutes left. That's a pretty good time set after A went kind of poorly for them, but Graviton Surge coming out now is going to catch 3 members of the defense. Easy kills on 2 of them. Transcendence keeping Zenyatta alive, but Superplock and Hardest going to have a tough job trying to take out 6 members of the attacking team. And actually, who was that in the background? It was Winston. Heiko actually had already started taking apart the backline. I didn't even see him, and he actually ended up being a huge difference maker there.
So, just about managing to hold on there. And that was important because that was a period of a lot of momentum going at FaZe's way. Oh, just when I thought we'd have a period without a disconnect, Joshy.
Well,
we had 2 maps without one. That was really good.
No one said anything about it, so it definitely wasn't a jinx this time. But we had Shadowburn with the Dragon Blade available. He's actually going to start off just by deflecting and getting away from Winston. Heiko, as he goes down, Sound Barrier and Dragon Sword both come out, and he's going to have an easy time slashing away at the back line. Triple kill, quad kill. Oh, that's a piece of 5 different members there that Shadowburn's sword just attacked, and he's going to easily run up to the spawn, block Winston from being able to touch that cart. Minute 22 left for the time being.
I think even if we miss the start of that, we're probably going to see it again in play of the game. That's my personal prediction, but we will wait and
Pretty brutal. Yeah, it was definitely the biggest single play, I think, of this game. So maybe we'll see it after we switch sides.
We saw the last 3 kills.
So
we did get in pretty quick. But
well,
oh my god, Joshy, the bad parking. I'm getting my OCD rage again. Come on!
Well, the ult itself was actually quite effective. Very nice usage by Shadowburn, but it basically all happened at the end because he started off up on the 2nd floor. He caught the sound barrier and then realized where all of his targets were. So he dropped down, got 1 slice in on a tank, and just continued moving. And as he got to the supports, that's when you saw the excellent sushi time from Shadowburn.
I've worked it out. Very irritating parking. That's what this says. It all makes sense now. Right, we're going to go ahead and swap sides and see if we can beat the time set here. Of course, not technically stopwatch, but a minute 22 left on the time bank does mean that if both teams end up completing, very important to make sure you have more time available. So we'll see how that works out.
As we have May, yeah, I think Ice Wall can be very effective here. Just in that main choke, it forces basically teams to either come through security or figure out how to get over the wall instead. So definitely limits the attacker's options. And if you're not expecting to run into a Mei, it can also be very jarring. Sometimes you may even need to switch your composition if you just can't handle it. So we'll see how Shadowburn's able to play this Mei. He actually has been using it on King's Row A as well as Assault maps. So even though he is the Genji master, I guess the right-click projectiles from Mei's Ice Gun are similar enough to shurikens that it makes sense.
Well, I mean, you do have to kind of nail those projectile headshots, and like you say, if you're used to playing Genji and you're able to nail those, then absolutely fine. Wait and see how Shadowburn does here. But more importantly, the utility that the wall brings as well. If you can wait for 1 or 2 players to go past the other side of the ice wall, and then you put the wall up and allow you to play 6v2 just for a couple of seconds, it can often be very, very brutal.
They did just switch 3 characters, but it's costing them so much time. They switched Pharah, Winston, and Mercy, and Genji. Excuse me, 5 characters they swapped there. No, it was only 4. Excuse me, Lucio and Zarya stayed the same, but 4 characters swapped. Now they're attacking in. The Mei Ice Wall, of course, going to do a lot less than they have a vertical team now. So they did actually have to address the fact that a Mei was there, and Pharah ended up being the answer. They take out 2 Easy and Ruckus extremely fast, although Pharah and Mercy do eventually fall to Shadowburn and those Ice Spikes.
Asox doing a good job on Genji so far, trying his best to cut through the rest of FaZe here, but not quite able to make it stick. As a result, Shadowburn actually has Blizzard available now as well, so Mei proving her worth 100% and then some right now on the first point of Hollywood.
There is a Blizzard available for Shadowburn, so anytime I see that, I'm just like, alright, well, defense are easily going to win this because they have to try and stand on the point to cap. If they don't, then they're not doing anything, and if they do, they're all going to freeze to death. So Transcendence is actually going to open this fight up, as well as an Earth Shatter, so not even having to use the Blizzard just yet, just keeping that in their back pocket for after the res. Well done, Shadowburn. He is going to find a couple of targets there, at least zone them out and force them into single places. The Ice Spike headshots are coming, and he does get the kill on Hardest. Hardest did collect 2 kills, though, so Mei off on her own, not going to last long.
Cryogenian there, just doing a very good support role on Lucio. You can see him there with the golden... what's Lucio's gun officially called?
I always want to say Sound Blaster, but that, of course, is a company that makes sound cards and headsets.
It is. I mean, we could call it Sound Blaster. I don't... It certainly accurately describes what it is. Let's put it that way.
It is very shiny.
You're definitely not wrong.
Soccer gun.
Soccer gun. Oh, that makes my European heart rage, Joshua. The soccer gun! Oh my goodness. Either way, I'm not sure either of those things are better in gold, but he's certainly rocking the bling today as we move in to the second point here on Hollywood.
K-Stock's on the attacking team. Redskin does have Dragon Blade available, so looking for him to try and get to that high ground very quickly. Already taking a few shots there at the Zenyatta. That's probably who he's scoping up to try and take out with the Dragon Blade, but the fact is, he's not going to do it on his own. There's a Graviton Surge catching a few members, just tanks actually, so not the best grab ever. Unfortunately, does not allow them to get any immediate kills, but the Dragon Blade out now. All the defense jumped down on the low ground. He's swinging at actually nothing. But does not end up getting anything for his ult. It's okay, though, because the attacking team is continuing to roll through point B.
That was pretty funny. He was like, right, guys, I'm ready now. Don't even worry about it. I've got the high ground. Oh, there's nobody here. And,
just swipe away.
He is still alive, and he manages to get the kill off on 2 Easy as well. And it looks like, is it Shadowburn switching off onto Tracer? It is indeed. It's going to be down to him to make the difference. And so far, he actually is. In combination with Genji, he's now had a piece of 2 kills, looking for a third as well. And McCree is not far away.
Artist just had some great McCree shots there, actually lining up a few headshots to try and keep his team moving. But the unfortunate thing is the rest of his team actually fell to everyone else. So we've got high nudes on both sides. A little bit of a McCree duel behind their Reinhardt shields. The more skulls you have, the more damage you can actually pour into Reinhardt's shield. So kind of a draw on that one. Get it? Draw. Pulse Bomb comes out. Shadowburn gets 2 kills. There's the res to undo it, and defense still trying to hang on.
And the hammer down coming out now, but Shadowbird going down in the meantime, and Hard is still continuing to pour damage in. That's 3 kills going the way of Redskin right now. They are fighting against FaZe and trying to prevent this from going any further at all. The defense is currently being stopped in its tracks. Lucio getting flashbang, but not going down, crucially. Fact Fiction now able to get the shield back up, trying to hold the team. Hardest back in with a Deadeye, and it looks like FaZe are pushed back. Are we going to see a high noon to zone this out? No, he's not going to need it yet.
Artist has been doing a great job on McCree. I've been watching him in first person, and he actually is quite accurate. He's doing pretty good with positioning. Waited for his tanks to come back in before trying to get too much done on his own. Deadeye is available again, as you said, because he has been sinking in a lot of these shots, and the tanks are really good targets for him on the side of FaZe. So here's the Deadeye that you're talking about. Genji Deflect comes out quickly, but he pulls the trigger anyway for no effect.
Right now, they're trying to break in. FaZe still trying to keep them from capping the second point. After all, it's going to be very useful. Every second could matter if it ends up going to this second round. But they just want a full hold before it even gets there to prevent them from having to do that in the first place. Fact Fiction going for the double. Shadowburn with the assist as well. And everyone but Cryogenian is back.
I swapped over to 2 Easy just to watch his Deadeye, which did get an immediate kill, so it was very helpful on that front. But then he landed something like 2 headshots on Mercy in a row, turned flash and headshot the Genji sitting on the cart. So 3 very accurate shots in quick succession. 2 Easy was kind of the MVP of that defensive hold. But now offense trying to regroup again. It's going to be Earth Shatter or nothing here for their attacking team. Asox almost has enough for another Dragon Blade. We'll see if he can build it up during this fight.
Graviton Surge to start things off here, and we're looking for those early kills on the part of FaZe, managing to get 4! That isn't just early kill, that is middle and late kill as far as we are concerned, and that is a complete and utter team.
Doms, Fact Fiction, and Shadowburn are all getting laid flat there, so a really nice Earth Shatter, but it was so late in the fight that it was wasted, and basically they're not going to get that value again. Can you still hear me, John?
Yeah, 20 seconds left to go, and this is looking very difficult indeed. FaZe absolutely doing a great job. Redskin now, it's now or never. They have no choice. Asox does have that ultimate available, so we're waiting to see if the sword could come to great effect here. He's sneaking up behind the boxes. He sees the rest of the team. Can't find a good opportunity to use Dragon Blade just yet. We're going to be going into overtime here. There's the blade coming out. We need the kills, and we need them right now. 3 kills to start things off, though, and Redskin are absolutely going all the way. Can FaZe come back and defend in time? Zoms is on Tracer, looking to try and stall a little bit, but I'm not sure this is going to be enough.
Just making sure you can still hear me?
Yep, I can still hear you completely fine.
So Overwatch locked up and then fixed itself, but then had to reload all the models. That's the first time I've ever had that issue, ever. So Battle.net perhaps is actually having some issues, maybe. But either way,
in the meantime,
the attacking team, they did secure B, so that's a great thing for them, and they only have 1:10 left to try and finish the stretch, though that can be quite a difficult task.
Well, I mean, it's possible. You know, 30 seconds can potentially do it, but you do basically have to have non-stop. So we'll see if they're able to do that. Shadowburn with his ultimate available as well. So we're looking for a little bit of slicing and dicing. And here comes Shadowburn to start things off, managing to get Heiko and Wythink actually going down as well. Particularly important because Zenyatta just so useful in that backline. Super Plow going to be the last domino to fall. And this basically gives Redskin, again, one more push to get the job done.
Yep, this is all they've got, and they have to get that 3rd point, or else it's going to be FaZe taking the first map. Definitely don't want that to happen. I believe King's Row and Lijiang Tower are the other 2 maps available, but we'll find out where we're headed next if and when this game ends. Hardest High Noon does get shut down by Shadowburn, finding the Juicy McCree there in the big group of tanks. Doing a great job there. Sound Barrier going to keep them in high health as well, and Shadowburn easy dash resets now to clean up. Only a few seconds left for the attacking team. FaZe should have it locked down.
And 2 Easy at the moment, just giving the opposing members a hard time as they come out of spawn. As a result, they're not going to be able to get in there. Round 2 is complete, and Hollywood is going to go in the direction of FaZe. Congratulations to them.
Right, we should get a play of the match as well. Hopefully it's that Shadowburn multi-kill that we only got a piece of.
Yep, I think it should be. We get the instant replay. It would be amusing if Battle.net disconnects right now. The only thing that denies is Mercy Res. Hey, it's good to see Mercy Res play the game back. How long has it been since they were out of the meta?
It has been a while.
Yeah, man.
I'm not really thrilled by seeing them all the time. Once in a while would be fine, but this is like every time she reses 4 people, you know, it's just a done deal.
That's what Fraggy's for.
Right, he is the Mercy Buster.
Exactly. We have a couple of suggestions in chat, by the way, for the name of Lucio's weapon. I believe, actually, one of them is correct. It's quite possibly genuinely called the Sonic Blaster, but that's just no fun. The Boop Gun, Booper 3000. Looks like a couple of people suggesting we call it the Sellout Gun. But something tells me Sonic Blaster is the official name. So we will see there. So we're now going to be hopping into the next map in just a moment. We'll see what that ends up being. The teams are asking each other, one team's asking the other, FaZe doing the asking, what map they would like. And we will see what we end up going to. King's Row is the answer. Cool, so pretty bread and butter here, Joshy.
Yep, King's Row and Lijiang were the only choices, so King's Row will be the ticket. We already watched a couple of good matches on Kings Row. Well, actually, before you got home, I guess. But
sorry. If anyone wondering, I was late for this evening due to quite literally a car crash. I wasn't involved in said car crash, but it did back up a major... Well, I'm trying to think of... a dual carriageway, but highway for all our NA viewers, basically for 3 or 4 miles, so that prevented the car picking us up from getting there 40 minutes, and then it delayed us another half an hour going back, so it was pretty rough.
No problems there. We will need Too Easy to change the map at some point, as he is the lobby leader. But either way, thank you so much, everyone, for coming to watch the GosuGamers EU Weekly number 19. It's time for some sellout action. Yeah. Thank you so much to the sponsors. We got Matcherino, Ting, GosuGamers, of course, and OW Kings. I want to point out that if you do !Matcherino in the chat, looks like it actually just dropped not long ago. GGEU19, GGEU19. That's the code to contribute $1 free to the prize pool on Matcherino. So definitely make use of that. There's really no reason not to just go add $1 on the prize pool for free. So definitely go do that. And I also want to point out gg.ting.com has a $25 credit for watching these GosuGamers weeklies. So go check that out if you're in need of new phone service.
Nice. So go ahead and do that, folks. In the meantime, while we're waiting for the next match to start, don't forget to go ahead and make that donation. In fact, I'm doing that right now. There we go. And that's an extra $1 in the prize pool, Josh. You're up to $1,021. So there's still $229 you guys can potentially help donate just with your free dollars alone. Of course, if you happen to rummage around the sofa this evening and you manage to spot $30 or $40 down the end there and you fancy donating it to a good cause for the betterment of esports, you can go ahead and do that directly as well. But otherwise, if you don't do that, at least give us that free $1. Thank you very much to Matcherino for giving us that functionality. And the players are ready. We're going to be hopping into Kings Row now. We'll see if Redskin can overturn the deficit here and come back and defeat FaZe to set us up with a game number 3.
Yep, this is just a best of 3, so if FaZe do take it down, they'll be moving into the winners final against Ninjas in Pajamas. We saw them a little bit earlier, basically just dominating Tornado Rocks, so FaZe versus Ninjas in Pajamas could be a very, very good match. Of course, this is a double elimination bracket. We're down to only 8 teams. Let me actually refresh the bracket here and see what is going on in the lower bracket end of things. We did see Tornado Rocks drop down there, not taking a game off of Ninjas in Pajamas earlier, but my computer's loading like 3 different things right now, so it doesn't want to load anything.
No worries at all. And just to confirm on the format, I believe these are best of 3s, but when we get to the grand finals, it's a best of 5 with winner bracket having a map advantage?
Yes, it is the only BO5 of the day, and it's technically a BO4 because of that.
All right. So best of 4. That's not a format I see very often. But oh
yeah, wow. Best of 5 -1 is really what it is. Sure. Not so much a BO4, but the lower bracket we actually did lose Crusa dude and Justice team. We actually saw both of those teams earlier tonight, so they're both eliminated now. We've got Redskin and FaZe obviously here still, Ninjas in Pajamas waiting in the winners bracket, and then we've got SK Light and NDG as the remaining squads.
Here we go now. We're going to be starting off Asox on Hanzo to start things off, and it looks like he is going to be switching his hero up, so we are going to see him move back onto Genji, and we saw him a little earlier tonight as they move on to Kings Row. Will they be able to one and done the first point? Very, very important to try and push through this team, or at least sustain some damage and get those picks off, because the defense here can stall you for ages.
That's true, but they are already sitting on the point, or at least trying to, as the battle unfolds here. It's going to be too easy getting that first kill. Zombs actually goes down to Hardest, who stayed on Pharah, but Pharah ends up splashing herself for that last bit of damage. Why, I think, on Mercy, trying to keep everybody up. The offense obviously have a much closer spawn, but they're just not getting the kills they need. They only got 1 or 2 throughout that first engagement, so FaZe hanging on to the defense pretty firmly here.
I do also quite like the choice of Mei here. if it's forcing their opponents to basically run around the side and forcing them to engage in hotel, you can funnel everybody into exactly where you want. But more importantly, you should be able to split up your enemy team to maybe get 1 or 2 of them on the point and then move the rest of them out. ASOC getting taken out of the middle of the air here thanks to Shadowburn on Mei, and a lot of people getting frozen on the point now as he goes and does work.
It was kind of funny. I was watching in third person. Only one person actually got caught by the blizzard, but 2 others got forced, funneled away basically, and killed anyway. So even though they weren't frozen, they actually ended up in the same predicament. And now the rest of the team actually still in here fighting. Really no reason for it. And this is something that we've called out in other series where basically if you're losing your first few members, don't just feed yourself into the blender. You're just giving the defensive team more ultimate charge by doing so. So if you can recognize when your team has lost a fight, it's always best to just die or get out of there.
You don't want to be staggering those deaths for sure. If you have the opportunity to back away and wait for 2 or 3 members to come back, you probably should do so. Cryogenian coming down with the sound barrier to start things off though. Hardest looking for a couple of kills with Farah, not able to find him just yet. ASOC's on Genji. Now Transcendence coming on down, but he gets knocked to the ground as Mei puts up her ice wall as well. Hardest with a triple kill. ASOC needs to try and finish it off, but Fact Fiction coming back with the double.
It's interesting, it looked like with the barrage that it was going to be another blizzard that was just ineffective, but they ended up getting so many kills off of that Hardest and the Mercy here are unable to really do it themselves. We've got a 1v1 duel here, oh my goodness, catching the Zarya bubble just in time to keep Hardest alive and actually finish off Forsaken coming in. Mei is still alive, running around like crazy, ice blocking now on the point for FaZe, trying to stall even longer. What a crazy fight that was. Hardest actually managing to survive and still dishing out tons of damage. Helps take out 2easy. Winston falls as well. ASOX and the rest of the crew now helping clean up. And I gotta give it to Hardest. He did so much damage and stayed alive. Great clutch Zarya bubble, keeping him alive. Allows them to take point A finally after about 3 minutes.
It's so strange. A lot of the feedback when Overwatch unfortunately disconnects from me at the moment, it seems to be split 50-50 between Blizzard Plea and... Is that guy really typing that fast? I feel like there needs to be some typing of the dead streams at some point in the next week. We're going to have to bring those back.
Oh, totally. Yeah, Word Racer is always a
I've never
one.
Played that. I'm going to try and beat it on 1 credit.
Yeah, it's just a Java app, basically, where you... random people type, see what their words per minute are, but it sets it up like a race. But either way, as the game unfolds now, we've got Hardest with the barrage again, actually catching 2 members easily and getting a lot of damage into that Reinhardt. So another MVP-style play here from Hardest to keep this payload moving. Mei drops a 3rd blizzard of this defense already. The blizzard, just a huge radius, slows the attack but doesn't actually stop it.
Right now, yeah, I mean, Shadowburn actually used the blizzard to zone people out once again, but after they were zoned out, there wasn't actually a lot that was getting done, unfortunately. They weren't moving into a ridiculous amount of DPS, so like you say, slowing the attack, but not actually ending it. And Harvest continuing to provide that covering fire, not able to, while able to not get trapped in that Graviton Surge. He's now moving, trying his best to get the damage done from afar. Will be able to pick Fact Fiction off, but several members of his team have gone down so far, and Shadowburn still in the thick of things. This guy knows no fear.
Shadowburn does not know fear, he only knows Genji, and you have to be fearless to play a solid Genji. I've been watching 2easy during this defense, and he's still alive, still messing with them. Might actually get the kill on Winston, but actually is going to escape and get a full health instead. But watching 2easy during that fight, he was basically gifted a Mercy kill during his Deadeye, and then now is still in the backline, ripping things up. If he gets just 2 more shots on Lucio, he'd kill him, but he takes out Hardest instead. Now Mercy's finally back in the fight and does get revenge as the cart moves into the checkpoint. 2easy stayed alive for 2 full defenses while his team wiped twice.
And Heiko, in the meantime, also got a couple of really solid kills in Zarya as well, all throughout that, so that was really nice from him. 2easy has, of course, earned that check mark against his name. That means he will be able to have that Deadeye available in that next engagement, so staying alive, very useful indeed, even if your team are losing the fight. He takes out Hardest, and that's going to be, unfortunately, something he remembers. Oh, and gets ASOX on the way down. That counts as a skill shot.
Yeah, definitely helps to get that Genji kill, and Cryogenian falling to his death means means that defense is in full control of the card once again. Only 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Superpluck also falling to his death just to rejoin his team, but Hardest is the first one out the gate, able to just send tons of rockets at Fact Fiction, try and break down that Reinhardt shield before the engagement even begins.
Fact Fiction now keeping the team behind the shield, although that is getting a little bit low considering the fight hasn't actually started yet. We're looking for an opportunity to use a Dragon Blade there as ASOX moves on in. Now, this is going to be a very slow and steady push. They want the initial 1 or 2 picks up. Ooh, ASOX not quite able to get up there, but he will in the end. And it's 5 ultimates on the side of FaZe. This is a big ult showdown, and it's going to be difficult, actually, for Redskin to overcome this Blizzard to start things off. And everybody, freeze! Don't move. That's going to be incredibly useful for him.
Yeah, the Blizzard is absolutely ridiculous there. I was waiting for him to lob it out. I actually took his first-person view and thought, barriers don't stop this Mail. He honestly can just toss it anywhere and catch 4 or 5 people, and after he tossed it, the attackers were already past the Blizzard, so they couldn't backtrack, and the couple of people who got caught, Shadowburn just ice-spiked them. He found the Mercy immediately and stopped that push flat.
So we had a 5 ult versus 2 ult situation before. It is now 2 versus 4 in favor of Redskin, though. So they did manage to use their time to turn that out, but they have to... Oh my god, that is ridiculous. That Earthshadow got absolutely everybody.
Yep, everything nice and tidy, and a nice little package there for the Graviton Surge. Everything looking good for FaZe again. Even though A and B both fell, C looks like they will be able to put up a final stand. Shadowburn has another Blizzard ready to go, and that's essentially a nail in the coffin if I've ever seen one.
I mean, good news for them is that they died so quickly they will actually get another push, but like you say, that push is going to be very difficult with that Blizzard available. Shadowburn coming in from the back now. He's not messing around at all, and there is the Blizzard. And just going to be preserving herself while the rest of the team gets some damage done. Hardest trying his best to break on through here. Both teams actually trading kills, doing a very good job. Raucus going down as well as Fact Fiction acting to the McCree. And Hardest is doing work. He's trying to take on Shadowburn at the moment as well. And May saying, yeah, go on, May. I have no problem. We're into overtime. The card is continuing to get pushed. Will they be able to complete?
I wonder if they're going to be able to set a time. May is still back here, and they are finally able to rush her down, but she was able to get a Mercy kill from back there while she was alone, and that actually stalled the attacking team enough to allow his team to respawn back at the actual end of the point. And yeah, there's a Bastion out there now, too easy, basically just drilling into the tanks. He knew it was the last push possible. Rez comes in and brings up 3 people after the timer has expired, unfortunately, for Redskin. So nice effort there to try and set a time. Do not quite secure that 3rd point. FaZe looking to just finish the map to try and finish the entire series.
And I think the highlight for me from there was the second last engagement where Shadowburn got, I forget who was playing Pharah. Was it still Hardest at that point? But basically, Pharah was down to like a sliver of health. May couldn't quite attack Pharah, so Ice walled herself to get up above Pharah and killed her that way, which I thought was pretty slick.
Yeah, some nice tech there.
So pretty cool stuff there from Shadowburn, not letting anybody get in his way. And as a result, there will not be a time set for Redskin. FaZe now have an opportunity to close out Kings Row and potentially the series.
Yep, FaZe, Shadowburn actually on the attacking Genji this time around. No May for him, obviously, on offense, but on the defense, we're looking at the Ninjas in Pajamas triple support, triple tank composition, which can be quite interesting. Obviously, as a death ball, it really makes sense because everyone's sitting on 1 point. Their sustain is very high for a single concentrated area. I'm curious if they're going to try and switch after A or for how long they're going to actually be able to hold here. One noticeable change from Ninjas in Pajamas is that ASOX is on the Winston, not on Roadhog. Himsy getting those instant kills is actually pretty pivotal to this strategy, so very curious to see what Winston's going to be able to do, essentially the opposite of an instant kill character.
Spray paint art coming down now on the side of Redskin. It's obviously very important to get these coordinated. You can see there's a lot of discussion going on there. But all eyes on the attack. Can FaZe do this? Can they close it out and bring themselves to the winners bracket finals? They're certainly looking good for them at the moment, but they haven't finished yet. They come out of the gate too easy once again on McCree. Let's see if we can get those early pickups.
Watching Shadowburn's Genji loop around through the hotel, but actually gets the scouting information that there's basically no one back there, so leaping onto the statue now and directly into the back line, going for that Zenyatta. As the tanks are all up in the front line, the healers are forced to fall back. Shadowburn does barely survive and gets out of there. No kills going either way just yet. Fact Fiction is going to be the first to fall. Good move for the defense. Reflected sleep dart from Shadowburn onto the defensive Ana, but it's not enough as the rest of his team is just getting lit up in the front line.
Oh, I missed that unfortunately on first person, but I'll do my best to try and catch that a little later on. We were taking a look at some of the tank play and exactly where the teams were positioning themselves just then, and it looks like both Fact Fiction and Superplug doing a good job of keeping their line steady and keeping their teams in good positions. We're coming in now for round 2 as FaZe look to move in, and that is a Winston who's very, very angry indeed and wants to have a word.
Shadowburn pulled out his sword in the middle of 3 members of the defensive side, actually got 1 kill very quickly. Looks like 1 more slash may have actually killed Lucio and Zenyatta, but he was surrounded. Again, the rest of Shadowburn's team not on the same page with him so far, and it's going to be Fact Fiction and Zoms stepping onto the point now to finally capture about 1.5 minutes into this attack, but there will be a chance here for the defense to try and make something happen. They've got a ton of ultimates. It really is just up to one of them to really start this engage.
Here comes the sound barrier as the point almost completely taken now, and they're actually getting zoned out before they can touch it. But Tranquility, or Transcendence rather, is going to be coming down. Graviton Surge, absolutely huge. Fact Fiction getting taken down now as well, as the members of Redskin were able to stay alive. Heiko grabbing a double kill in the middle of that, and I think they will just about be able to hold on.
Yeah, it looks like they will hang on, and actually it's a really nice thing that they were able to get into position in time to actually use those ultimates effectively, and it seems like they are off of the Ana hardest now onto McCree for this most recent defense, actually giving them the firepower they need to get some kills. And when he was on Ana, obviously their sustain was much higher, so now with this shift in power, who knows if FaZe is going to be able to take advantage of it. Shadowburn did swap as well off of the Genji onto Reaper to better fit his team's needs. Deadeye coming out now from the side of Hardest, does not find any kills for it yet. Death Blossom still available from Shadowburn, could end up making a huge difference as that Reinhardt shield is broken.
Comes Shadowburn right into the Hornet's Nest. We're looking for targets. We find one on Y-Thing. Going to be able to get a second one as well. He's not going to want to use his Death Blossom right now. The point is secure, and we will see FaZe now moving forward to the streets here on Kings Row.
As Shadowburn starts to move forward as Reaper, he's looking for any defensive players trying to return to the cart. Not going to find anybody just yet. Of course, we as spectators have that infrared vision basically through the walls. There's really no one nearby at all, but that is actually Asux on Genji getting a little bit closer now. The cart itself moving freely through the streets and just waiting now for the next engagement as the defense start to get piled up here in this choke point.
Now we have the teams basically standing behind each other's Reinhardts, nothing crazy just yet, and that is actually going to force, never mind, Sound Barrier very quickly coming out for FaZe to start things off there. Superplug getting the first kill off onto Fact Fiction, and a charge getting taken down by Transcendence, basically preventing people from actually going. As Zombs is floored by a very good Earth Shatter from Superplug, allowing them to push forward, and Hardest getting a double in the middle of that means that FaZe will once again be pushed back.
The Earth Shatter was very nice there from Super, basically for the first time actually. He's been looking for Earth Shatters basically throughout this entire series and not getting much value in general, but that one was very solid, did allow his team to retake the cart. He's able to get back to his team now, even though he did slightly overextend. No one from FaZe was able to take him out. Too Easy actually popped his Deadeye during that as well and was unable to get anything for it.
Shadowburn, he's got Death Blossom available, but he doesn't have a flanking position right now. It looks like the teams are just trying to get in each other's faces, potentially with a bit of Zarya in there as well. Hardest coming in with the high noon. Oh, actually had 2 skulls there as Fact Fiction, managing to get an excellently timed Earth Shatter. Shadowbird coming in with a double kill as well. That was off of Death Blossom, and this is FaZe's chance. That is the clear up they needed. They are now going to be moving to the third and final point.
Finally, yeah, Shadowburn gets value for that Death Blossom. It took a little while, but once the stars aligned, after the Earth Shatter stopped the Deadeye, everything came up. FaZe Really good ult coordination again from Fact Fiction and Shadowburn, and as they roll into the last checkpoint here, they've got 3 minutes exactly to try and set this third point and get a time and win the map, win the series, move on to face Ninjas in Pajamas. They want it. Can they actually achieve it? Heiko and Superplock do have those CC ultimates. Earthshatter's going to get us started, but doesn't catch anything. Again, a rough Earthshatter from him means that his team is not going to benefit from it. Fact Fiction actually charged all the way in and got taken out during the charge, so FaZe definitely getting reset here.
2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining, and at the moment, we are getting a very, very spirited defense coming out of here from Redskin, doing a very good job. They do need to hold for a little while longer, though. 63 meters is the distance that FaZe have to try and get to, and they will have about 3 or 4 pushes to do that in, so definitely all not lost just yet. Too easy with the Deadeye, getting speed boosted in here as well. He's looking for a couple of opportunities, will manage to get some of it onto Reinhardt. Shield and Supercloud completely fine, pinning Zombs to the wall before getting taken out himself.
The Graviton Surge there was interesting because the barrier actually prevented anyone from going down. Zarya decided to run around the cart to try to shoot them in the back, and then she was just surrounded and killed. So kind of a rough Graviton there for the defense. Definitely did not get the value that they're looking for. So the Earth Shatters and the Graviton Surges both being a little bit lackluster are, you know, those typically are used as tools to make full holds or make full team kills, and it's just not happening here for Redskin. FaZe too good at basically hanging on during those CC ultimates, and they're going to move forward now with Transcendence, forcing the defensive Transcendence. It's actually a Death Blossom coming out from ASOX that kind of frees the cart again, and it does allow the defense to hang on again. FaZe, time is starting to tick down. They might not actually be able to beat this distance here.
This is very close, 60 meters and 63 meters to beat. They pushed it 6 meters so far. So they basically just need a second or two of push time, but they also have to win the team fight to earn that for themselves. They have 56 seconds left. If they get beaten in this team fight, they will only have one more opportunity remaining here to beat Redskin right here.
Kind of interesting, actually. FaZe, I would have said we're heavy favorites, but now as time starts to tick down, they're in a position where they have to win this fight or they're going to lose the map.
That sound barrier, Joshy, did that actually do anything? It felt like FaZe actually just walked back, and I don't feel like sound barrier did much from Cryo.
I actually didn't see it. I was spectating too easy and didn't even really hear or see it go off. They were that far away from the team, so you're definitely right. That sound barrier was a huge waste, and in fact, Fiction coming in and getting a triple with Too Easy and company just steamrolling in. They are going to beat the time with 15 seconds only remaining. What a ridiculous last fight. It was kind of confusing, in fact, but FaZe do take the series 2-0, and they will go on to meet Ninjas in Pajamas in that winner's bracket final.
Man, I'm thinking about that sound barrier and whether or not they could have used it when the team fight happened. I feel like, I mean, there's no guarantee, of course, a team fight is still a team fight, but I didn't feel like that extra hit points really did much, really, for Cryo's team. And as a result, maybe, we have FaZe now taking it 2-0, but congratulations to them, they do advance to the winners bracket finals.
That very last play of the game ended up being play of the match, with Fact Fiction just swatting away at Graviton Surges and basically anyone trying to stay on the cart just to protect it from moving 3 more meters. Makes it really easy for Reinhardt to just spin in circles and kill whatever happens to be there. So really good play of the match there from Fact Fiction. Again, FaZe take it, so we'll be on probably a short break now before getting that team in here. I'm sure they're anxious to play, so it should be a shorter break. Exactly. We'll see how it goes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to mean FaZe are in the winners bracket finals. Let me see if I can go ahead and get a refresh and give you guys an update on the rest of the bracket as well. So we have Tornado Rocks going up against NDG in the lower bracket, and Ninjas in Pajamas, of course, are lying in wait here, but they'll probably be going to a short break. So we're going to go on a shorter break as well, 5 minutes instead of 7. And when we come back, we will be here with the winners bracket finals between Ninjas in Pajamas and FaZe. See you soon.